All right, Media Studies crew, let's get right into it. We need to talk about that one moment in Paper 1. You know, you've done all the revision, you feel prepped, but there's always that one question that can make your heart sink. Well, today, we're going to crack it wide open so you can walk into that exam feeling confident and in control. You ready? Let's do this. Yeah, you know exactly which one I'm talking about. It's that first big analytical question in Section B. And for so many people, that's where the exam nerves really start to kick in. It just feels like this massive hurdle. But what if I told you there's a simple, foolproof formula to nail it every single time?
First, let's just appreciate why it feels so important. 10 marks. I mean, that is a serious chunk of your overall grade, all riding on how you answer this one question. Getting this right can genuinely boost your final result in a big way.
And here's the kicker. You've only got about 10 minutes to earn all those marks. Think about it. That's basically a mark a minute. The clock is ticking, the pressure is on, and you absolutely need to have a rock-solid plan before you even put pen to paper.
And a rock-solid plan is exactly what we're going to build right now. First up, we're going to decode the question to see what examiners are really after. Then, I'm going to give you your secret weapon. It's called the PEAT framework. After that, we'll see it in action with a real example, and finally, we'll wrap up with the key things you need to remember to master this response. So let's dive into Section 1, Decoding Question 8. Look, before you can answer any question well, you've got to understand what makes it tick. What is it actually designed to test you on? Okay, so here's the breakdown. This is your first major analytical task in Section B. It's always, and I mean always, going to be focused on industry and audience. And it's always going to be about the Lego Movie or the Lego Movie video game. But here's the most important part, the bit that should make you feel a little better. They are not looking for a giant essay. They want 2, maybe 3, really focused and well-written paragraphs. It is all about quality over quantity here.
So the big question is, how do you write those high-quality paragraphs under pressure? Well, that brings us right to Section 2, your secret weapon. I promised you a formula, a framework that takes all the guesswork and panic out of writing your answer. It's super simple, it's easy to remember, and honestly, it just works. It's called the PEAT framework, P-E-E-T. This is the structure you're going to use for every single paragraph you write for Question 8. Seriously, think of it as your recipe for a top-mark answer.
So what does PEAT stand for? Well, P is for point. You just make your main argument, clear and simple, directly answering the question. The first E is for evidence. You have to back up your point with a specific, concrete example from the movie or the game. The second E is for explain. Now this is the important bit. It's where you analyze how your evidence actually proves your point. And finally, T is for terminology. And this isn't just something you tack on at the end. You need to be weaving that subject-specific language all the way through your paragraph. It shows the examiner you know your stuff.
Okay, theory is one thing, but it's useless unless we can see how it works in the real world. So, Section 3, PEAT in action. We're going to take a real, exam-style question and pull apart a top-level answer to see exactly how this structure is used.
Right, here's our question for today. Explain why family audiences may find the Lego Movie video game appealing. Refer to the uses and gratifications theory in your answer. So you see, it's really specific. It mentions family audiences, and it tells you which theory to use. This is where a framework like PEAT becomes an absolute lifesaver.
Okay, now just look at how perfectly this example paragraph fits our framework. The point? Boom, straight to it. The game offers entertainment. That directly links to the uses and gratifications theory. For evidence, notice how specific it is. It doesn't just say there are jokes, it gives concrete examples. And then comes the explain, and this is where the real marks are. It breaks down why it works, pointing out that the slapstick hits with the kids, while the smarter humor gets the adults. That is a perfect 2-layered analysis.
All right, let's bring this all together. Section 4, Mastering the Response. We've cracked the code of the question. We've got our secret weapon. Now let's just lock in the absolute crucial points you need to walk away with.
If you remember nothing else, remember these 4 things. 1. Structure is everything. Aim for 2, maybe 3 solid PEAT paragraphs. 2. Be a hawk with your time. 10 minutes, max. Practice with a timer. 3. Be specific. No vague waffle. Give them actual examples. And 4. Speak the language. You have to use that key terminology. It's the secret sauce that takes a good answer and makes it a great one.
So there you go, that 10-mark question. It's not a monster to be scared of. It's really just a puzzle, and it has a clear solution. And now you have the framework, you've got the secret weapon to go in there and get those top marks. So the only question left is,
How are you going to use it?